users, I thought it would be interesting for me to show a real life example of how I use Dronelink for a commercial shoot. One of the things I get asked sometimes is, why would I want to use an autonomous software like Dronelink when I could just fly something manually? So I wanted to show this to you for a couple of reasons. So one, for those that like this kind of rise and reveal shot, I showed how I've been experimenting with trying to do that with Dronelink, as well as kind of my thought process. So for those of you that don't know what I mean by a rise and reveal, it means because when you kind of typically either point the drone gimbal straight down and you slowly rise it forward, or obviously you can go straight up or straight down and reveal something. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that when you've got a flight like this, and this is a golf course with a clubhouse, 18th green, this is the green here, it's a putting green here. It's sometimes, I mean, obviously I could just go there, and I've flown this course before. I know the course pretty well, but it's sometimes nice to just sit here at the comfort of my desk and plan out a mission and start to see what it's going to look like both in 2D as well as in 3D, as well as start to experiment with what some of the various variables that change change the flight pattern, the altitude, the speed, where the drone is looking. So I'm going to share with you what I've created here a little bit. And this took me, 15, 20 minutes to do. Did not take me long to put together. But the idea was for me to fly from here toward the clubhouse. I wanted to kind of do a rise and reveal here. And then somewhere on here, I wanted to switch and have it start looking at a point of interest of the clubhouse. That's what this is here. Just a little bit. A little bit like that. And then I wanted to fly out over the water of the 18th green, come over the 18th green, do a little flyby of the clubhouse, and then fly outward over the this is the first hole here. I decided, since I've got it here, I might as well fly back and get a shot. This is the putting green, get a shot of the putting green. So my thought pattern, for those that are new to Dronelink, I usually do the path of the drone first, so the actual where the drone's going to fly first, and then I worry about speed and altitude and where the camera's looking next. So I created a little path there. This is my approach. Take off here on the 18th fairway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 waypoints on top of that. So that kind of that I think that's good for what I want. Now, a little bit on the magic here. So for those that are unfamiliar again with Dronelink, everything else besides the path is controlled by markers. So speed, altitude, gimbal pitch, point of interest, all controlled by markers. So I created a marker here, and you can do that by right-clicking and saying new marker or new point of interest marker. I did new marker. And the first thing I did is I set the gimbal pitch to -90. So that'll point the gimbal straight down here. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to slowly have it rise up by the second one. So if you look at my second marker here, the second marker, the gimbal pitch is now at 0. So it's going from -90 to 0. That'll have it look straight forward. Now, the one thing that's a little tricky here that I was playing around with, and it'll be interesting to see how this comes out, is a transition from a gimbal control like this to a point of interest. Because I don't think there's an easy way. I got to play a little bit more to transition. Let the path stay the same, but slowly curve the interpolation between a gimbal control and a point of interest control. So what I tried to do was this is my third marker. My third marker is a point of interest pointing at the clubhouse, kind of this area, this landing area right here. But I tried to get it so it was in a similar path. So it's coming here, it's going straight, and ideally, if with 0 degrees, the starting point for 3, when it's looking here, is going to be similar to where the marker is for 2. So what it should do is look straight down, look forward, transition to a point of interest, and then do the point of interest all the way around. And then I added one more point of interest here to look straight at the putting green versus this area here. I want to get a shot of the putting green. So that's the idea. The other things that I played around with here was the altitude. So I I set the altitude of the approach to 50 feet, which is fine over the water. But over here, when I was looking at it, there's some trees here, and I really want to, I got to be a little bit higher or I'm going to be in trouble. So I kept it 50, I think around here. I raised it to 75 feet. You can see, so in the fourth marker, I changed the altitude to 75 feet. And then by the fifth marker, I changed it to 100 feet. So 50, 75, 100, and then I had it drop back down again to 75 once it got beyond the building. It was a little bit further out, and then dropped it down even further over here. And then I think I just kept it. I kept it at 30 feet, going back toward the green, which is fine. In fact, I'm going to add one more marker here to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to have it rise up a little bit as I get to. Have it rise up again as I get closer to the green. So that's the so now I've shown you the path, the camera controls that I'm using right now. So I'm using a point of interest as the camera control and the gimbal control. The other thing that I was playing around a little bit was speed, and that was only because I was just, obviously I can edit things in speed later, but I was trying to think through where I made a little bit faster here. So I did 13 miles an hour here. I wanted it to slow down to 10 miles an hour. That still might be a little bit faster what I want, because I really want this to be as smooth as possible. And then I think, then I sped it back up when I was kind of going back out, even faster when I'm kind of moving away, and then I slowed it back down again as I'm doing this march toward the green. So that's the idea. I mean, I hope you can kind of see that if I was to fly this manually, this is 4 or 5 stick movements all at the same time, because I am pushing forward, I'm rising up, I'm changing my gimbal distance, I'm yawing when I'm getting around here. That's not an easy flight. That's a tricky flight to do. And on top of everything else, to be able to see what I'm looking at. So this is where it gets kind of nice. So I can preview the mission. So I'm going to preview the mission first in 2D. And a couple things I can see. I can see, okay, so it's 1 battery, of course, it's a short mission. I can see the altitude changes. That all looks right. I can, not that this is, again, I'm not flying too far away here. This is only 1,000 feet away. I can check my speed. So you can see the speed varies a little bit. That's interesting. That right there is I'm assuming is the turnaround. So it's got to slow down when it flips around, right here. I'm assuming that's where that drop in speed is. It's got a rotational speed. It's not going to be terribly interesting. But let's play this and try to watch and see what it does. So this is rising up. I'm going to pull this along to get to the approach. Let's watch this first in Dronelink, and then I'm going to watch it in Google Earth. So this is 1 times speed. So this is the water looking straight down. And if you watch this, it's a little slow. There it is. There's the clubhouse right there. So I wanted it to be a little bit to the right. I wanted to see the 18th green, so that looks about right. Now here's the one area that I'm a little concerned about. Oh no! No, I just moved something. Let me go undo. There we go. Sorry. So I just showed you the undo command. I was trying to drag down to show more of the map and accidentally moved a waypoint. That's what I was. So the other thing I was going to show you here was, let me speed it up. This little dot here shows where the camera's focused on. So you can see out here, it's focused way out here as it's flying toward my approach. But once it gets to the approach and looks straight down, this dot's going to look right. It's going to right underneath it because it's looking straight down. Watch this. Straight down. Turn straight down. So you can see it's looking straight down. Now it's going to slowly extend out. I'll extend it out a little bit. So now it's looking straight out. Now here's where I'm curious. So right now it's looking straight forward per the gimbal. Now let's see how smooth this goes. So a little bit of a, it should be okay. I might be able to clean that up with a stabilizer if necessary. But that looks decent enough. So instead of showing this the whole thing here in the 2D, let's export it out. I'm gonna export it to Google Earth. And for those of you again that haven't watched the videos, there's videos how I do this. But I'm gonna click on this button over here. It says Export to Google Earth, and then I'm gonna click on this button here, and it's gonna open it up in Google Earth. And again, for those that are new to it, here's what the mission looks like in Google Earth. You can kind of see my path already. Taking it like this over the 18th green and flying out, flying back. But let's watch this thing from a flight motion perspective and just look for trees. Alright, so here's my takeoff. Speed up here. Alright, flip. Alright, go. There we go. Alright, rise. Might be a little fast, but I could always slow that down if necessary. That looks pretty good. That's that little jerkiness I'm worried about, but may have to play with that a little bit. I might share this mission if people have any ideas on how I can improve that, but yeah, see now I originally had the altitude a little too low for those trees. I should be good now. I'm well above the building. I think the only thing I'm going to do before I fly this is I'm going to move it so I'm not over the clubhouse so much, so I'm not seeing the top of the building. That's just kind of boring. That looks pretty good. And it's going to do a little zing around and come back. And I may want to do that a little lower too. So anyway, so hopefully that's valuable. I just wanted to quickly show you kind of what you can do with Dronelink in a commercial shoot. I'm gonna fly this on Saturday, and I'll post the results. Let me know what you think.